Hello. Right, we do have sun issues. It's Saturday morning. I don't know what date it is. 22nd, I'd like to say. Yes, that sounds feasible. So, I've been away with work, training. I have actually been very disciplined because for the entire week, even though I've had food at the hotel, I have stayed off the coffee. And it's done me the world of good. I mean, I have had a Pepsi with my evening meal, but I stayed off the coffee because it was the most inconvenient time for it to be the time of the month for me to be away. So I decided to try and not aggravate it anymore, and it absolutely worked. And it was like I was 20 again. So there you go. So I was tempted to make a coffee this morning, but this is green tea. But it's probably still too hot to drink. Anyway, it's Saturday morning and I've got to go out and do post because if I get another message from somebody asking me when I'm going to dispatch their item, I'm going to lose it. So I've been on holiday mode. Naturally, I've put the eBay shop on holiday mode. Yeah, if you are new around here, I am an eBay seller, but I also have a job. And the concept seems to be lost on the people who actually buy this from eBay. So I put it on holiday mode last Friday. So obviously Saturday morning. So it's been on holiday mode for a week. I posted on that Friday morning, and I put it on holiday mode in the evening. The moment I put it on holiday mode, I made 3 sales. So, that was great. So obviously, putting it on holiday mode really did the world of good. I mean, I had listed a fair amount of bits that day. I think it was. I can't even remember what days I was working and what I wasn't. But yeah, so I sold a flurry of things. It was a flurry. It was only 3 things, and then I just thought, do you know what? I'll just post them on Saturday morning. So I posted the 3 things that were sold and paid for on Saturday morning. And then thought nothing of it because it was on holiday mode. It says on the top, this expects a delay in dispatch. There's obviously something wrong with eBay because I then had a stonking Sunday. Well, it's stonking for me because I have what is technically a full-time job, so I don't expect to get any more than 2 or 3 sales a day. So I had another 3 things that were sold, one of which the guy had messaged me on the Thursday and he'd he'd been asking questions about it, and then he finally purchased it on Sunday and demanded a Monday dispatch. And he was very insistent, and he was very strong in his messages, and I just thought, do you know what? I've got these other 2 things. One of them was a box of mugs, and I just thought, am I really going to be in the mood for that? I mean, I took my holiday mode off yesterday. Yeah, so I took it off yesterday when I got back, because I got back on the train, and then I took it off holiday mode, and I sent out the 50 offers that I had to watchers, I haven't had any sales for the end of the week. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday has been a no sales day. So these are only Monday and Tuesday, these sales. Because the stuff, so I had this guy who was nagging, and I says, I am on holiday mode, but I will pack it up and I'll get my husband to drop it off, because he said that he would drop it off, because there's no way I could have dispatched anything on Sunday evening when I was catching a train early on Monday. But anyway, I parcelled it up because I just thought, I don't really want to do those mugs. So I sold a box of Starbucks mugs. It was only 3 mugs, but I packaged them up for the dispatch on Monday, just because I would have been now packing mugs, which would have been annoying because I've only got clothes here, so this is a simple job. So I did all of that. I think there was a jumper as well. all in all, from like the Friday and the Saturday and Sunday sales, and like the Friday ones was like a dress and a jumper and all these other things. Just like ordinary stuff, nothing like to write home about. But I ended up parceling up this. So it was a coat that this guy was nagging me about, and I think he paid £20 for that. It was like an Adidas Dwight somebody, some basketball thing anyway. So I parcelled that off. I did the mugs, I think I did the jumper, and whatever else there was, because I can't specifically remember. And Jason took them, and they were dispatched on Monday. And then obviously I've made sales on Monday, and I've made sales on Tuesday, and then the rest of the week was crap. But I've already had I've had messages yesterday and this morning saying, when will you dispatch these? The first message that I had, I was still on holiday mode on that, because I only took it off like last night. But I'd left my holiday mode to stay on until Monday, just to like alleviate some grief. But whatever eBay are doing now, they're not telling. It's not very obvious when somebody is on holiday mode. So it's just aggravating. I probably should have messaged everybody at the time when they purchased it, but I also didn't want them to cancel the order. But anyway, I should have just done that, because I've made a rod for my own back not doing that. Right. So anyway, there's only like these few things which need dispatching, and they're not fantastic like rock out sales. Two of these things I was actually going to send back to charity shop, so that's a bonus. So this is just a handmade crochet top, and that's gone for 10. I don't know what time are we on. Right, it's 10 o'clock. I haven't eaten any breakfast, and I don't think I will until I've dispatched these. And I don't think I've got a car. Yeah, Jason's taking the car this morning. So I have got to walk. Not that I wouldn't walk. So this is one of the things that I was going to send to the charity shop, because it's just, I don't think I photographed it that well, because it's slightly off the shoulder. This is the 80s and 90s look, this. And it is vintage, and it's Miss Selfridge. And because of the way it is, I think I'd had to like repair it slightly at the back, which I had declared. And what did that go for? Not very much. I think this was like, I want to say like £5, if that. I can't even remember, because I haven't had a proper look. Right, let's get these away. So my other eBay, I just ended everything that was on there, because it needs a refresh anyway, and I obviously I couldn't monitor anything that was going on there, so I just ended everything that was on my personal eBay account, because I only had 6 things. It's like, it's not a problem. And then what else did I do? I've put the Depop, which hasn't even started popping. I put that on holiday mode, and I haven't done anything about that. And I had my Vinted on holiday mode, so I've restarted that. I've ended that, but I don't expect to get any sales from them, because I don't get any sales from them. They're just there in case suddenly there's some revelation, something happens, but I don't expect that revelation to happen. Right, these are Rafa. I've had these for over 6 months. And they've sold for £25, and I only had them priced at 30. Rafa. I've had other Rafas which are sold faster than that, but they're women. This is women's. And if you want to sell, it needs to be men's. And which one do I put them in here? I'm just trying to think. I have sold. I haven't made that many sales in the last week, but I've made 3 overseas sales. One to Switzerland. This one here, which I've got, is going to Mexico. And somewhere else. it wasn't the US, Spain, I think, or something like that. I've had, since the tariff was put in place by Trump, I've suddenly made more sales in Europe than I have previously. I mean, Mexico have been massively penalised. I don't know. I haven't been paying too much attention. So there's somebody's messaged me about these this morning, and they've only paid £22 for them for the fact that they're brand new Dickies. So I shouldn't expect them to be a massively reasonable person. So those were I had 3 pairs of Dickies, 2 of which were used, and those are the ones that hung around. I did put them up for, what did I put them up for? 30. So, I mean, 22, it is what it is. And then I've got this skirt here. So this isn't even something I bought to resell, and I wouldn't buy this to resell because, number one, it's Zara. Number 2, it's covered in sequins, and I just wouldn't do it. And I know it's a small size. Oh no, it's a large. So anyway, it's got a back split. This is something that was given to me by relatives who were having a clear out. So it was just on my account anyway, and that was on a 99p auction, and somebody sent me a £10 offer, which I bit their hand off because I was going to send that to the charity shop, or onto my Vinted. And that's the thing that's going to Mexico randomly. I may have to refund them some postage because I think I've overcharged. But that's another discussion, isn't it, for like a week's time? Postage charges with Royal Mail. Yeah. So anyway, I'm gonna sort them out and get them posted. I'm so glad that I did the mugs, and I'm so glad that my husband posted stuff for me. God bless him, because it's been a few less because I've had good feedback from the other things, and obviously they've been delivered. Do I need coffee? Do I want this grass tea? I think the other reason why I've been doing quite well without the coffee is because I've been having lots of cranberry juice, and I should have bought cranberry juice at the supermarket yesterday, because that was the other thing that we ended up doing, the supermarket shop after I came back yesterday. And on the train yesterday, I mean, complete and utter tool. Somebody who shops for Rafa. So the train going down was all right because there was plenty of seats, but the train going back was hectic. Even though I got on at one of the very early stops, there was nowhere to sit, and there was a lot of people standing. And then I got myself one of the fold down seats at the front, and I was like, this is a 3-hour journey. This isn't great. And I was just like, well, it is what it is. So I was sat up one of these fold down seats, and then I can't even remember what stop he came on, but this guy came flying on, and I wasn't the only person, because there was 3 of these fold down seats and I was on one of them. And this guy came flying on with his bicycle and shouted at us all to move. I got a bicycle. I'm here. I reserved this. Absolute lie, because the service was unreserved. You couldn't reserve a ticket because my ticket was bought 2 months in advance, and it was you couldn't reserve anything. And I checked this on both of them, and it was no reservations on the digital display. It was an unreserved service. So this guy was like, I reserved this spot for my bicycle. Complete knobhead. And I was just like, well, I'm not going to get in an argument. I'll just go, I'll go and sit on one of these, because by that time the train had been traveling for an hour, at least, over an hour, I think. And some of the other seats had vacated. So I just thought, well, I'm going to go and sit on one of them. I'm not going to get in an argument with this guy. But why would you come on with that attitude? I mean, read the room. There was people standing. And the entitlement of cyclists, it just really annoys me. So, that's yet another reason for me, to not apply the brakes when I see a cyclist, because they annoy the crap out of me. Last week, somebody, a whole group of cyclists nearly ran me over here, and I've had them ringing their bell at me when they're on the pavement, ringing their bell, ring, and these aren't the ones who are, Deliveroo or Just Eats or Uber Eats, because we have a lot of them. The whole town is like flying around with these guys, and I mean they'll like fly past you, but they won't ring the bell. So I'm just like, it just really irked me, and I mean I'm surprised that the other people didn't like argue with him, because there was like plenty of room, because it's these free seats, and I got up and this other person got up, and then he was like, I need you all to get out of the way. And he got off at Wilmslow, so hopefully somebody with a massive 4x4 this morning will plough him down. So, it will happen, because one day he'll do that to somebody who, will just throw a punch. But honestly, maybe that's why people of Wales, do think that the English are angry, because I have sort of like noticed that there was a lot less crime down there, and I've kind of like got used to it up here. But then, yeah, it's weird, because it's like things that I have to factor in my workplace. Is somebody shoplifting? It's like constantly something, that you're having to like read the room myself and see if somebody's shoplifting, and see if you like need to do something tactical. But apparently doesn't happen in other places. I really have been in Manchester too long, because I'm used to it now. Or maybe I'm hardened enough that I can go and live in Liverpool now, but maybe not. Right, so I'm going to whistle these through, and I'm going to get these in the post. I think the last video I said that I was going to list all of this. So while it is photographed, all of that, it is not listed. So I am going to, I mean, it would have been completely pointless anyway, but I am going to do a kickstart today. So I'm going to try and list as much of that as I can. I haven't even made templates of these listings yet on eBay. I mean, I was only staying in like a Premier Inn, and I think that's the thing, is that Premier Inn is great for 2 days, and then suddenly you're not allowed Wi-Fi unless you pay for it. So you're allowed like 2 days of Wi-Fi. I mean, it wasn't, as far as the Wi-Fi goes, it was diabolical Wi-Fi, but the diabolical Wi-Fi is withdrawn after 2 days of your stay, and then you have nothing. So I've like eaten into my data as well. So I couldn't make, I was like, I'm not going to eat into my data further to make templates of things. So I've got that to do this morning, but I'm going to drop these off, and then I'll come back and have my breakfast, because I haven't had breakfast. I've washed my hair. Because I think my hair is used to slightly harder water, and obviously you have softer water there, and it makes my hair look weird. It feels like a dry shampoo situation, even when you've washed it, when I use soft water. So something to bear in mind if I think of moving to the Lake District or Wales, but I don't know. It is time to think about other parts of the UK which I might like to move to in the next 2 years, because I can't be this hardened for the rest of my life. I walk around, it's like I don't listen to my headphones when I walk around in Manchester. I have wired headphones so that I know that if somebody snatches, it will disconnect and I'll be aware. I don't want pods, and I don't want noise cancelling, because I want to be aware of my surroundings. But I also don't listen to my headphones, and I always put my phone deep in my pocket or zipped into my bag, preferably not zipped into my bag. I want to be able to feel it on my body, in case somebody snatches it. But I've had people like, try and snatch my bag, which is why I'm a rucksack wearer. And if I've had a shopping bag, I've had this is why I don't like cyclists as well, because the cyclists are the ones who snatch your phone and they dip your bag. So if you've got a shopping bag, so like say, listen, this isn't working because I've been taking my laundry out of this. Let's finish with the laundry because that's going to go in to the laundry later. See, I travel light as well because I don't want my luggage stowed on some train where I can't see it. But if you're carrying something like that and it's open, you have people who will dip. They'll go past on a bicycle or whatever, and they'll try and dip you. So I'm very used to that. But it's like completely on my radar, and it's become the person that I am because I live in the city. And when you go somewhere else, and you realise that that's somebody who you are, who you've become, who you weren't when you didn't live there. And there's another really, really, really weird thing when I was away. So one of the girls who works at the shop where I was training for a week, she, I say girls, she's a woman because she's slightly older than me, so we didn't go in the same year. So bearing in mind that I'm on the West Coast and I went to school on the East Coast, in the depths of a little town in Lincolnshire, and I was chatting away to her, and it turns out that we went to the same school. We went to the same secondary school in this very small little town in Lincolnshire. So, anyway, if they'd sent me to like Hull or somewhere, I would have absolutely expected that because, it would have been normal. But what's the chances of you going to the other side of Britain and you meet somebody who's been to the same school as you, and she was like reading off like teachers. She's still got family over there, and the ones who you suspected were perverted. Then it's since been discovered that they are perverted. So I mean, I only worked with her for like 2 days, but I mean, I could have gossiped for weeks about stuff that happened there. Right, so anyway, I've got to go. Because I need to, it's in the post. Well, the collection's 11:30, but I need to crack on with some listing because I need to jumpstart eBay if that is at all possible. Yeah, I mean, it might be not. I don't know. But yeah. That needs to be my second most reliable income stream, so it needs to be jump started today. So if I can get 20 things live today, then that would be great. Maybe I'll schedule for the week. Maybe I'll just let everything go live. I might schedule. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm doing. I don't know what the best thing is for it anymore. I obviously did do a fair amount of items that went live at the end of the week, and that gave it the kickstart, even though it was on holiday mode. So. It'll do something. It'll do something. You have to keep the faith. Keep the faith, man. Right. So that's me done. Thank you for watching. Thank you to the people who've unsubscribed. Who didn't like me. Obviously they won't see this, but I've noticed I've had a dip in subscribers because people don't like this level of natter. But I'm happy to keep the people who like to, upkeep my journey. Oh yeah, and I think somebody, I know that people come into the shop all the time and like say hello, but hello to everybody who's seen me in person and who's been frightened to say hello. But yes, if you were in Newport Cancer Research in the last week and you think that I served you, it probably was. It was me. So yes. Right, that's me done. I'm going to crack on with this, and I'm going to crack on with listing. Thank you for watching. I'll see you again next week with something more of this. Thank you. See you soon.